Hello, my love. Welcome to another episode of Blisstopia podcast. I am your host, Mercedes Castellani, and today we have the part 2 of the money mindset series. So today we're going to cover your relationship with money. When I learned about this topic, I was just like absolutely blown, and it's really helped me rewire and reprogram my relationship with money. So I will be sharing with you the 3 attachments that we can have with money. And I will also be sharing a little bit about my own personal history and my own attachment style with money and how I learned to heal this attachment style because, spoiler alert, I didn't have the secure one, which is the one that we want. So let's dive into the relationship with money. So you're probably aware of the attachment style theory when it comes to love. You know that we have the anxious attachment style, avoidant attachment style, and then the secure attachment style. And when I heard this, I was so shocked because basically we can also have an attachment style with money. Now, in my case, I had the same attachment style in love than in money, and I had to learn to heal them both because it wasn't nice. So let's dive into the first attachment style, which is the anxious attachment style. So, when you have an anxious attachment style with money, basically what you're going to do is lean in when you are in financial stress. If things are not going very well, you're going to try to control and to have this energy of, I need to know what's happening. I need to know, I need to pay, I need to change, I need to do. So, it's an energy of desperation, basically. And people with this attachment style think that there's never enough money. They need a specific amount to feel safe. So they put these milestones in terms of income goal. And then when they reach those income goals, they're like, well, that's not enough. Let me aim. I still don't feel safe. Let me aim for the next big thing. So they're always chasing, chasing, chasing. And it's so interesting because even at the level of millions or billions, you can find people who still think that it's not enough. That the amount of money that they have, again, in the millions or billions, still it doesn't feel safe. Money still doesn't feel like a resource that this person can trust and this person can relax around. So people who have the anxious attachment style will take a lot of action to avoid discomfort. So there is what we call a wounded masculine energy. Masculine energy is the energy of direction, plan, structure, organization. So when we say wounded masculine energy, it means that this person is doing too much, planning too much, taking too much action, being way too organized, way too structured. So it's not like a healthy organization, healthy planning, healthy budgeting. It's more like this doing too much all of the time. So this person will be constantly monitoring their finances, obsessively checking the bank accounts. Have I paid that? Is there enough money in there? Is this moving? Is this not doing so well? This person will constantly worry about the future, and they have a difficulty to live in the moment because even if they do have financial resources right now, they still fear that they might not have enough in the future. So they are hoarding money, saving lots of money for a rainy day. So, what is interesting for this attachment style is to think the following. If you desire more money flow, you need to let your money flow. If you want to create wealth, you cannot be just like hoarding money in an account. You need to put your money in a high yield savings account. You need to put your money in an investment account. You need to invest in companies. You need to invest in a new business. You need to let your money flow, have fun, and trust that it's going to come back to you. And what is also interesting for this attachment style is to try to reduce the amount of times that you're checking your bank accounts. Just put some money in there and spend it. Let it be. Enjoy your money. This group is actually around 60% of people. So we've done a survey recently, and pretty much 60% of the people who answered had this anxious attachment style. So if you're here, don't you worry. There is so many people in this group, and I used to be in this group as well. But I'm going to share my story once I finish the 3 attachment styles. So the second attachment style is the avoidant attachment style. So this group of people will lean back in case of financial stress, meaning that they will take no action in order to avoid the discomfort. So what they will typically do is spend, 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 but they are not checking what's happening. If they're using credit cards, they have no clue how much they've spent on credit cards. They have, if they have debt, they have no clue on the total number of the debt. So it's a very chaotic energy. The first group was like way too structured, and this second one is like super chaotic. They're just spending, they have no clue about what is happening. And this group has a wounded feminine energy. So feminine energy, when it is healthy, it's about flowing, enjoying, seeking pleasure, saying yes to things that feel good in the moment. But when we say wounded feminine energy, it means that this group is just really going with the flow. Yes, 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 yes. But there's no plan, there's no structure, there's no budgets, there's no numbers. They're just like going with the flow. So this group will avoid checking their bank accounts, avoid budgeting. They will make decisions rooted in the present, but there is no plan whatsoever. They usually have missed payments or late fees because the whole thing is chaotic. So they miss on dates because there are no systems to actually make sure that everything is okay when it has to be okay. They have a high risk tolerance. They're fine, managing their money this way. Whereas, if you would give this type of finances to an anxious person, they would like freak out immediately and control immediately because they have a lower risk tolerance. And when you talk to a person who has an avoidant attachment style about money, they will usually shut down on the topic. It's like, I don't want to talk about this, like it's all good, or it's a mess, but I don't care. So what I would recommend for this group is to get really intimate with your money and do money dates. So basically money dates, you can do them, for example, once a month. You put some nice relaxing music, you put a nice silky pajama if you want, and you have a date with your money, meaning that you spend time with your money. You get to know your money. You show care, love, and affection for your money. You protect your money. You make changes if you need to make changes. You get clear about what's happening. If the situation is not flourishing right now, okay, we need to talk. What's happening? Why is this happening? Did I spend too much on this? Did this investment go wrong, or it wasn't as positive as we expected? So you need to know what is the situation, what is your money going through right now, and also what is coming up, so that both of you and your money, can prepare in the best possible way for the things that are upcoming. If you have an exciting trip, for example, okay, let's budget and plan for that trip. If you're buying a home soon, okay, how much do I need to save? How much money do I have available to put down for this house, etc., etc. But you really want to spend time, get to know your money, and really treat your money as you would treat your lover. And the third group is the secure attachment style. So the anxious attachment style is 60% of the population, more or less, give or take. The avoidant is 20%, and the secure is. And this number comes from a survey that we did during a webinar. So the secure attachment style will plan and execute to avoid financial stress. It's an energy of confidence, inner power, trust, hope, expansion, all at the same time. And it's a balance between the feminine and the masculine energy. So the masculine energy will plan, will have a structure, will have systems in place. And the feminine energy will say, you know what, I really want to go on that retreat. I really want to get those shoes. I will just enjoy my money because I want to enjoy my money. This group sets realistic financial goals. So, for example, if they want to buy a house soon, they will set, okay, how much can I realistically save so that I can put down for this house that I want to get? They make informed decisions. They have healthy spending habits. Yes, they will spend, but they're not overspending or spending above their actual, purchasing power. They have a clear understanding of their financial situation. They know their numbers. They know how much they're saving each month. They know how much they're investing each month. They know how much they're spending each month. And they know how much they have in their bank accounts. They know their net worth. They know their numbers. And this group really values money education. So they have a growth mindset. They know that they can always learn more, get better, work on their money mindset. And they are always, always learning about money and making better choices. So the invitation for this group would be, if you already have a healthy relationship with money, how can you nurture this relationship? How can you go even further? How can you make bigger, bolder moves? How can you invest on something exciting? How can you really take this relationship to the next level? So, regardless of the type that you have, I invite you to take a step back and to think that money is a person. Try to put money, try to personify money. How does money look like? How does money speak? How does money behave? How has this presence, been in my life? And really ask yourself, would money want to be in a relationship with you? If you're controlling your money, you're asking, where are you? Why are you not back yet? I thought the salary would have been here yesterday. Why is it not here? Do you think money would want to be in a relationship with you in those terms? So maybe there are things that you can change in that relationship so that money, which is an energy, wants to be in a relationship with you. And so that you can have a healthy, stable, committed, beautiful relationship with money. So, in my case, I used to have an anxious attachment style. And when I learned about this, I was shocked because I also used to have an anxious attachment style when it came to love. So, it's interesting that sometimes these attachment in love and money can be the same. So I would invite you to think if in your case, it's also that case, maybe you have a secure attachment style in love and you also have a secure attachment style with your money. So I would invite you to think which of these attachment styles apply to these very important spheres of your life. So in my case, I used to have an anxious attachment style when it came to love. So I was always, checking if the guy that I was dating had answered or not. He saw my message, but he didn't answer. Oh my God, is he going to write to me or not? Is he going to answer or not? It was horrible. I was like so anxious, it was like such a waste of time and energy, to be honest. So I did a lot of healing around love. I discovered where that came from. That came from the fact that when I grew up, my father, who was an engineer, he had like these amazing projects. He was the director of different projects, but he was never at home. So I got used to having to long for his love. So I had a very secure attachment style with women because my mom was always there at home for me and she gave me this sense of security. But my father failed to give me that sense of security. So I was always, anxious, seeing if, the masculine presence would be in my life or not. And if it wasn't, I thought it was like the end of the world and I would die. It literally felt like I would die. It was like this sense of deep unsafety in my body. So I healed all of that through many years of coaching and therapy and all sorts of, therapies that I found. And I managed to heal that and to go from an anxious attachment style in love to a secure attachment style in love. And today I have a beautiful, committed relationship in which I feel super safe and I know that I can trust my partner trusts me. And yeah, we're just here for the long game and we're going to continue to trust and boost one another to grow together. So that was love. And then in regards to money, I used to have a very anxious attachment style. So I would be checking my bank accounts. I mean, let me say something. When I had, a very stable and very good salary as a marketing director, I was not doing all of this because the whole situation made me feel quite secure. But I think the issue was underlying still. So before that, when I had periods of, maybe when I was a student and I had a scholarship and I was living from the money that that scholarship provided for me, which I'm very, very grateful for because I studied in the best business school in Argentina and in the top 3 business school in France, all thanks to scholarships. And I'm very grateful for those opportunities. But money was tight because if you have a scholarship, they're not going to give you like this amazing allowance. So it was quite tight. And in those moments when I was a student and money was tight, I would always be checking my bank accounts, really leaning in, checking if the money from the scholarship had already come through or not, checking if the friend who owed me some money from a pizza gave me that money back or not, really monitoring my finances and my bank accounts the whole time. And I was really worried about the future because I didn't feel safe around money. I didn't feel like money was an energy, a presence that I could trust. So I was really worried about how the future would look like. And I was so scared of the future that I would save money. So I would end up with this huge savings account, which was not a high yield savings account. It was just like a savings account with a ridiculously low interest rate. but I would just hoard the money in there because I was so scared. What if something happens? What if I lose my job? I live in Europe. My family is in Argentina. I don't know if they're going to be able to support me or not. So I need to be able to support myself. So I was really worried about money, and I was like hoarding that money in a bank account with a ridiculously low interest rate. And I couldn't really enjoy my money because every time that I would spend money, it was like, fuck, I just reduced my safety, the safety that this huge savings account is giving me. So, first of all, that was not a nice feeling in my body, that energy of desperation, that energy of there's never enough, that energy of I need to get to that number and then I will feel safe. So I had deep down, I think there was this belief that money was not a resource that I could trust because money would fly away from my hands. I grew up, for your context, in Argentina, which is a country that has currently a 3-digit inflation. So when I grew up, my parents, even though we never lacked anything, I had a beautiful home, I had a great private education, I had access to healthcare. We never lacked anything. We had all of the things that we needed, but we didn't have all of that, like pleasure and extra things and things that we maybe wanted. And I always heard my mom, because my mom was the one that was managing money at home. My father would earn money and she would earn money. And then my mom would be the one that was like dealing with the money at home. And I think she had a very, like this scarcity mindset. And I don't blame her on this. That probably came from my grandparents passing on a scarcity mindset to her. So I also understand where she comes from. But she would always say, money flies away from my hands. Money's flying away from my hands. There's not enough. There's not enough. Money's flying away from my hands. So I always had this feeling like money was like this kind of bird that wanted to be free. And in that freedom, money didn't want it to be in my hands. So I had to learn, reparent myself, learn through a lot of money mindset work, a lot of subconscious reprogramming, a lot of, hypnosis and work around my beliefs and EFT tapping and just many months and years of training myself to have an abundance mindset. I had to reparent myself and recondition myself for wealth. There's a phrase from Tony Robbins that I like, which says, if you don't have money, it's because you haven't conditioned yourself for that. Now, we need to take this with a pinch of salt, of course, because some people are really struggling and are really having a difficult situation. And this phrase doesn't mean, oh, that's your fault and you should shame yourself because of that. What this phrase means is that if you're not seeing the situation that you want to see in your finances, then you need to look into your conditioning. You need to take a good, deep look into your subconscious mind, and you need to reprogram yourself, rewire yourself, reparent yourself, recondition yourself for wealth. So I did all of this work on myself, especially when I decided that I wanted to be a business owner, and that, of course, my income would be much more variable, with ebbs and flows during the year. I really wanted to prepare myself for that. So I did that work in advance in order to prepare myself for the unknown that being a business owner means sometimes. And And I'm really glad that I did, because my relationship with money is completely different right now. I have, of course, budgets for my business, budgets for my personal life. I have clear structures on how much I'm going to save every month, how much I'm going to invest every month, and on what, and how much I'm going to spend and enjoy. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I love traveling and that I love going to new restaurants and new cocktail bars. And yeah, that kind of lifestyle, requires me to spend a good chunk of money on those things every month. And I really, really, really enjoy it. So I've been able to heal my relationship with money and to understand through a lot of mindset work and a lot of changes, deep changes in my beliefs and in my identity. I've been able to have this relationship with money in which I trust that money will always be there for me. I understood that even in the moments where money seemed a little tight, money always found its way to me through scholarships, through gifts, through invitations, through whatever. Money always found its way to me, and money continues to find its way to me. I rewired this belief that said that having money requires hard work, and I changed that belief with having lots of money requires smart choices and smart work. So it's not about working hard and a lot and going to burnout. It's about being smart with your time and with your choices. And I think deep down, I've been able to create safety in my body around money. And I've been able to change my identity. And I've been able to start telling myself and truly believing I am a wealthy woman, no matter what. Even if I'm, in a corporate job or as a business owner, I am a wealthy woman. I know that I am destined to be a millionaire, and give me some time and you will see it, but that is going to happen. And that level of certainty is what it's going to create it. I'm not just saying this to saying this. I've really trained myself to believe that I am a wealthy woman who is going to be a millionaire, who is going to be the first millionaire in her family, and who is breaking the generational patterns that my great grandparents gave to my grandparents, that gave to my parents, that gave to me. And I am breaking away from that scarcity mindset, alchemizing all of that into abundance mindset and wealth. And that is what I'm going to be passing on to my children. So all of this work is possible. It is possible to reprogram yourself for wealth. So if you want to dig super deep into your beliefs, into your subconscious mind, and you want to work on healing your relationship with money, if it's not a secure attachment style, then I would love to hear from you. All you need is book a discovery call. The link is in the show notes. You book a discovery call. We will get to meet one another. You will share your situation with me. I will judge whether we are a good fit for one another or not. If we're not a good fit, I will point you in another direction, maybe to work with another coach or to do a course that is better for you. But if we are a good fit, I'm going to share my one-on-one coaching program with you, where we will be able to really dive into your money mindset and to reprogram yourself for wealth. So if you want to reprogram yourself for wealth, book a discovery call. Let's get to talk, let's get to meet, and then we can work together. I will see you on the next episode. And in the meantime, in Blisstopia we trust.